Rights to freedom is dead. We're coming to get our check.
Black First brothers and sisters, welcome to the Afro Elite YouTube channel. I am your host, Afro Elite. Before we get started, please make sure you're subscribed to the channel by hitting that subscribe button and hitting the notification button. That way you don't miss out on any future content. Also, hit that like button and share this on your various social media platforms or to a family or friend, because that helps the reach and the growth of the channel. For all of what you guys do, thank you very much. Now, I saw this on Twitter, and the more I started seeing it on my feed, which you guys should be following me on Twitter, which is at the Afro Elite on Twitter, and the link is in the description. And yeah, shameless plug. But the more I saw that, the more it made me want to say something about it, because as we're tackling and trying to dismantle, systems of oppression and the dominant society and oppressors and all that, we also need to do correction in our society. So we have to have a bit of both. And I see this as an opportunity to address a problem that we have, that we just really need to get rid of, because it's a very bad, it's a very tacky problem. So let me give you some prefix to this situation. Now, there is a dentist, a privately owned dentist, who opened her own field, who opened her own business. She has her own practice, which is pretty much what they would call like a medical professional who opens their own business and everything like that. Their private owned business that would have their own practice. So she has her own practice, and she has a dress code for her customers that come in who do their appointments to do checkups and things like that. There's a dress code, and the dress code got put on to Facebook first, and then that went on to Twitter, and Twitter had a very, very mixed reaction to that. So without any further ado, we're going to break that down, and we're going to really dissect why, first off, this is a problem and why we need to start correcting this in the future so the next generation doesn't have to deal with this type of problem. So what you're seeing here is a post, the original post that was made on Facebook from a woman coming in, and she's saying that she was happy to see the sign. Okay, so the sign says, no bonnets, no house shoes, no pajama bottoms. And then under there it says, we will be happy to reschedule your appointment per Dr. Sutton. And that's the owner who made that rule. Okay, so the original post from Facebook says, at my dentist's office, and this is the first thing I noticed, definitely jump for joy. Now, before I get into the quote tweets of this, let me make a comment on just the rules in general and then what she had to say. The rules, you don't really see that too much at a dentist's office. However, why do you feel like she would have to make that type of rule? Clearly, she made that type of rule because that's the way people were coming into their appointments. And she didn't want the look and feel of this is a ghetto place, because the thing is, presentation is everything. If you have your customers come in dressing any old type of way they want to, dressing like this is a Walmart or a gas station or whatever, it kind of weighs a little bit on the aesthetic of your establishment. And then your establishment by proxy is just kind of not going to be taken as serious. This is why in 5-star restaurants, there is a dress code. When you go to a 5-star restaurant, you see everybody dressed in either professional or business casual type of outfits. You don't see people putting on, jogging pants and flip-flops, and, you don't see that, because they have a dress code, because they want the aesthetic of their business to be a certain way. And with the aesthetic of your business being a certain way, you can attract a certain customer base. You know what I'm saying? And you can charge a certain amount of money. For instance, a 5-star restaurant will charge you $100 for a steak. Now, you won't be charged $100 for anything at Olive Garden. And I'm not, dissing Olive Garden, but Olive Garden is not, it doesn't hold itself to the same level of esteem, and probably just because the steak is not as good, but yeah, that's the reason why that's necessary. Now, the original caption is saying she's happy about this because she's pretty much sick and tired of going places and, you got ratchets all over the place. And let's be honest, presentation is everything. If a woman is going to her dentist appointment in pajama bottoms, flip-flops, and a bonnet like she just rolled out of bed, odds are to say that that's probably not the most sophisticated, well put together woman, so that's why she said that. But let's continue. Okay, whoever took the picture from Facebook used the caption just a bunch of question marks, pretty much saying that the post didn't make sense. She turned the comments off or limited them, so now we're going to get into the quote tweets of this post. Now, first thing I want to say, this is not in any particular order. I'm just, pulling them up and giving my commentary on the quote tweets as I go along. Now, this one says, how they want niggas to dress when they get their teeth drilled into. Okay, here's the thing. Nobody is saying you have to dress like you're going to the White House. Nobody is saying that at all. There is a big middle space. There is a big gray area between wearing pajamas, bonnet, and slippers and wearing a three-piece suit. Okay, there's a very big difference. It's a lot of space in between. This is really disingenuous. This is kind of like a straw man argument because she didn't say you have to come in a three-piece suit. That's not what she said. She didn't say you have to leave the house like you're going to a wedding or anything like that, or come like you're going to a wedding. So in their minds, and this shows you how kind of degenerate and ghetto their minds are, if you're not allowed to leave the house in Cookie Monster pajama pants, then you might as well be wearing a business suit. Like, there's no in between. Like, come on, this is ridiculous. This one says, black, quote, business owners make it easier every day for me to take my hard-earned money elsewhere. Oh, see, here's the thing. This is so off code. This is the opposite of group economics. I'm sorry. The thing is that you are supposed to have a sense of loyalty to your community and to your people and to try to get it to be better. This is the issue that I have with certain people when it comes to black-owned businesses. They want like an extra privilege for shopping at a black-owned business. Okay, they already don't want to patriotize black-owned businesses, so the black-owned business got to go above and beyond what every other business has to do. Because don't get it twisted, all businesses have a dress code to a certain degree. You know what I'm saying? All businesses are going to have, or all races, all ethnicities have businesses that have dress codes. If this was an Asian nail salon and they said, okay, you can't come in wearing bonnets, you can't come in wearing pajama bottoms because we want the business to have a certain look to it, they would comply. They would comply. Anytime any other ethnicity has a dress code, they comply to it. All right. There is no protest. There is no outrage or anything. The second a black-owned business tries to have the same type of standard, the same type of rules, then it's, I don't want to shop. This is the problem with black-owned businesses. This is why I take my money elsewhere. Okay. Now, when you go to a black-owned business, they're not locking the doors and knocking you out like they do at the Asian businesses. They're not calling you the N-word. They're not calling you racial slurs like they do at the other businesses. They're not racially discriminating against you like they do at the other businesses. Okay, but the thing is that you want the black-owned business to treat you like royalty in order for you to shop with them, but you're not going to hold the same standard to other non-black businesses. Okay, these are the comments that were just doing the most. Okay, it says anti-black policy again. Massaging the war, actually. Now, here's the thing. First off, it's not, how is it anti-black? It's actually insulting to call it anti-black, okay? Because that implies that black people or black culture is full of laziness. Okay, because that's how you present yourself when you leave the house, as if you're not dressed to leave the house. It presents yourself as a lazy person who did not get prepared to leave the house. That's how you present yourself. Okay. Most black people don't leave the house in pajama bottoms, okay, and bonnets and stuff like that. Even when that was a thing a couple years ago, now you don't even see it as much. All right. And then to say it's misogynoir. Now here's the thing: if the policy was to say no sagging, nobody would be saying this is anti-black men. And it would be insulting to say that, okay, because black men, most black men ain't out here sagging in the dentist's office. So it would be insulting to say that it's anti-black men, but nobody would be saying that. The thing is that when you put rules, and this is not to do a gender divide thing, but this is for a specific segment of black women. When you put rules on them, whether it's a black man who's doing it or a black woman who's doing it, they're going to say that that's not fair. There's a certain segment, not all, let's not get it twisted, because this is not a gender thing, because there was a lot of black women who were commenting on this and saying that they were treating the dentist unfair, okay, and there's nothing wrong with the rules. So I don't want to turn this into a black woman problem. But there's a segment of them that feel like any type of rules at all from other black people. They don't mind when it comes from other non-black people, but any rules at all that comes from other black people should not be tolerated at all. This one, in a country where it used to be illegal for black women to show their hair in public, and presently 25% of black women are denied job interviews due to their hair, niggas are still, all caps, still defending businesses who want to police black women's hair with bonnet policing. Look, man, this is, first off, so disingenuous. Now, what she's saying in the beginning is not true. This is disingenuous because this is very, very out of context. All right. It's the white businesses, okay, and the non-black businesses that have the rules of hair discrimination. All right. This business is not discriminating against hair. That's not what this business is doing. Other non-black businesses, they discriminate against natural black hair. So that's why black women had to, have their hair a certain way, straighten their hair, whatever the case is, or put a wig on, whatever the case is, because their hair was deemed, quote unquote, unprofessional. That's not the case in this situation. She's conflating the two things, and that's not true. She says, and niggas are still defending businesses who want to police black women's hair. They're not, this business is not policing black women's hair, okay? This business is saying you can't wear, this business is, you would call it promoting black women's hair. Saying that don't wear a bonnet. Black women don't grow bonnets out of their head. That's not their hair, okay? This isn't, they're going out of their way to try to make this like an anti-black thing, an anti-black woman thing. No bonnets. No bonnets, okay? Now, and here's the thing. They wouldn't be saying this if this was some fancy restaurant or a club or something like that was owned by a non-black person. Only when black people make these types of rules about, okay, no bonnets, no things on your head, nothing like that, no hoodies, no pajama bottoms, no slippers. Now it's, oh my God, this is just so anti-black. I can't believe how anti-black this is. No, because she wouldn't, if this was a 5-star restaurant, she would not be saying, oh, niggas are still defending restaurants that want to discriminate against black hair. She wouldn't be saying that. Because everybody would understand at a 5-star restaurant, you can't walk in with a bonnet. But the same amount of integrity that you take to non-black businesses and 5-star restaurants, you're not taking to other black businesses. This one, anti-black, much? Question mark. Answer, no, it's not anti-black, okay? Dressing out, leaving the house like you got some sense on is not a white thing to do. It's actually insulting to say that's anti-black, because that implies, once again, that black people leave the house like they don't got no damn sense. Okay, this one, as a disabled person, I wear, quote, pajama bottoms most of the time. Jeans and other tighter pants are difficult for me to get on and off, and much less comfortable with my chronic pain. Shoes can sometimes be difficult for me to get into. This is stupid. Now, let's be honest. Let's assume 100% that this person is telling the absolute truth. There are pants and other more appropriate outerwear for disabled people to wear. I'm not sure what this person's condition is, whatever the case is. I'm assuming if, jeans and stuff like that, that's too difficult. Maybe the person might be in a wheelchair, whatever the case is. They didn't say you can't wear jogging pants. There's many different types of pants that are might be more comfortable than jeans, but that are not technically pajama pants, And they do make shoes specifically for disabled people. They make shoes, I know personally, they make shoes specifically for people who had strokes, for people who have amputated limbs. They make shoes for a lot of different things. So let's not make it seem like, oh, I can only wear house shoes in pajama. No. Come on, let's be real. This is a stretch. I don't even know this person's condition, and I can tell, yeah, they wouldn't be saying that like I'm saying, you don't hear this type of stuff when they go to restaurants. When they go to restaurants, you don't hear that, oh, I have to wear pajamas. That's the only thing that's comfortable. You don't hear that. Now, this one says, what suck is future healthcare workers advocating for the deprivement of people's human rights based on their appearance. It shouldn't matter whether someone's dirty, smelly, or unprofessional. You don't know what people go through. Do your job. No. First off, people's human rights. I don't know if anybody has ever said going to the dentist is a human right. Necessarily, especially because most people go to the dentist just for checkups and cleanings and things like that. I think that's a big reach to call that a human right. But okay, because of their appearance. And they're saying because of their appearance as if because that person is, black, the color of their skin, their hair. No, because of how you're dressed. You're not allowed to come into certain establishments, especially a private establishment, if you are dressed a certain way. And everybody has that. It shouldn't matter if you're dirty, smelly, or unprofessional. Yes, it should matter. You're going to disturb. You come into a place. This is why they don't let homeless people just anywhere. You come into a place dirty and smelly. That's disturbing to the other customers. Okay, that makes the other customers not want to be there because nobody wants to be around a place where you're funky and you're dirty. Okay, that makes the place look bad. This is business. All right. So it should matter. I can see these people are making it seem like this is the ER. Okay. People have medical emergencies and you have to just rush to the hospital. This is a dentist appointment. You plan on going to this dentist appointment. There is no reason. Let's just be real. There is no reason you should be going to making an appointment. I say, I got an appointment Tuesday morning and going there like you just found out you had an appointment. That doesn't make any sense. You have to schedule this. Let's not act like somebody called you and say, hey, be at the dentist in 5 minutes. That's not what happened. This, first off, calling a dentist a human right, that's a stretch by a long shot. And then to saying that it shouldn't matter. Yes, it should matter. And they would not say this if it was a non-black business. Okay, this next one says, doesn't matter what your views on dress etiquette are. Denying care and enforcing a patient dress code policy for anything other than safety precautions is actually insane. Now, here's the thing. People deny care to people who don't come in. There's a dress code to a degree with pretty much all businesses. There's to a degree a dress code. Like you can't walk in any place naked. You can't walk in any place in your underwear. You know what I'm saying? There's a dress code pretty much to everywhere. And like I was saying before, this is not like I was saying before, this is not a ER, okay? For anything other than safe, this is not an ER. You know what I'm saying? This is not a place where you don't know you're coming to, like it's an emergency, denying someone care. This is a dentist office. Most people go there to get, you know, their teeth cleaned, or to get a checkup, or whatever the case is. You know you're going there. Why these people are like trying to stretch and fight tooth and nail to go to the dentist office in pajama bottoms and a bonnet. Like, if you don't like it, say, you know what? Listen, if I was to say, this rule is a little bit strict or whatever the case is, that's one thing. But to say it's insane, this isn't, like, no, it's not insane. These rules are not too much. I could see if they said don't come in a graphic tee, gym shoes, don't come in you know, I could see if it was something like that. But a bonnet, house shoes, pajama bottoms, that's not too much at all. Now, she did two parts to this nonsense, but I'm going to go read the first part because it's just a little bit less of the second one. But she says, this is anti-black because not only is this business judging black people, but they are also placing the comfort of white people above black people's feelings, since they prioritize white customers because they feel that is their only way to achieve, quote, business success. Now, once again, they're saying this is anti-black. This is anti-black, not being able to walk anywhere and everywhere with your bonnet on. They don't ever say, the whole, I should be able to go anywhere with my bonnet, I should be able to go anywhere in pajamas. They don't do that to especially privately owned non-black businesses. If non-black businesses had a dress code, and first, in pajamas, everybody wears pajamas. Pajamas is not a black only thing. Neither is house shoes a black only thing. The only thing that's like really black specific is the bonnets. All right. So this isn't saying that this is black people can't come in wearing, you know, black stuff. Like, it's not saying that. This is the only black specific thing is the bonnets. And the thing is that why would you want to leave the house in a bonnet in the first place? But you're saying this is anti-black because it's judging black people. No, that's insulting. Why do you think that black people can't leave the house decently? And they're not saying you have to be dressed to the T, okay? They're not saying you have to dress like you're going to an award show. But they're saying, okay, you can't dress like you're going to a slumber party. You're going to bed. You put on pajamas and a bonnet to go to bed. That's what you wear to go to bed. All right? So when they say, okay, come to the appointment and dress like you're going to a dentist appointment, not that you're going to bed. That's the thing. This is not anti-black. Oh, the feelings of black people. Look, if black people are of these specific type of black people, if their feelings are hurt by them not being able to go to a dentist appointment in their pajamas, then okay. And they're talking about, oh, they're doing this to prioritize white customers. No, they might be doing, and this is what I don't like. I don't like the fact that the sophistication in class is associated with whiteness, because it's not. All right, black people, we're sophisticated people. Okay, we're classy people. I don't like, oh, you're doing this for the white customers. No, ma'am, she's doing this because there's a lot of black customers who want to go to their dentist and they want to feel like they're in an establishment of class. You know what I'm saying? They want to feel that way. That nobody wants to see that. That's unsightly to see. Okay, it loses it lowers the aesthetic of the place, of the establishment when you do that. This isn't for white people. I, as a black person, don't want to walk around and go to a dentist appointment and see people looking like they're about to pull out a sleeping bag and sleep on the floor. No person wants to see that. I don't like the fact that, oh, you mean to tell me we can't do whatever we want to because of white people? No, we have to have standards for ourselves. We have to have dress codes for ourselves. I don't like this thing where the only rules that we have to follow are rules for white people to make white people comfortable. No, as black people, we should be having rules and following rules because that's how we want to live ourselves, and that's what we want to see our people like. Now this one, sometimes people dealing with depression and other debilitating mental illnesses neglect going to the dentist. Sometimes those same people find it difficult to wear anything but house clothes. Seems like medical professionals should be more compassionate. Ma'am, this is a dentist office. If you're going through some type of depression, and I'm not trying to undermine people who go through depression or mental illness, then maybe you should see another type of medical professional. All right. This is, I mean, sometimes people go through medical issues where they don't want to wear any clothes at all. They just want to be butt naked. So should the dentist office allow people to walk in butt naked to show compassion? So I don't like this thing. That's black people having any standards at all is just too high. Any standards at all is incompassionate. Is too high. It's anti-black. It's misogynoir, and that's ridiculous. Okay, this person needs to see a therapist, not a dentist. If that person can't leave the house without pajama bottoms on. Now we have a quote tweet. Now we're getting to the quote tweets that have some sense. All right, this one says, I mean, is it really asking for too much? You knew you had an appointment. Exactly. First off, they're not asking for you to put something on. They're just saying, hey, don't come in here with bonnets, house shoes, and pajama bottoms. You shouldn't really be leaving the house like that regardless anyway. So for them to have that rule and you already should not be leaving the house like that, that's not asking for too much. Especially on top of the fact that you knew you had this appointment. That means you had to call, you had to say, this is the time I'm available, this is the time I'm coming in, and they had to agree. So you knew you had this appointment. Why you leaving the house like your house just burned down and you're still in your pajamas? That doesn't make any sense. It says, don't jump me, LOL, but I've never in my life had the desire to leave my home to go to appointments in a bonnet, pajamas, or house shoes. So I scrolled past because, quote, no big deal. But now I'm seeing an outrage about it. So y'all really desire to leave the house like that during the day? Thank you. I mean, these people are like really triggered by the fact that they said that, hey, the clothes you wear to go to bed cannot be the clothes you wear to your appointment. These people are like literally pissed off about that. Okay, so this is another one saying, would y'all be okay if your dentist wore bonnets, house shoes, and pajamas while serving you? And this is a rhetorical question. And the thing is, this is an actual good question, because when people go to a privately owned establishments, especially black-owned businesses, the customers hold black-owned businesses to a very high standard. You know, so if the dentist is acting all ghetto and ratchet and everything, people are like, oh, black people can't do business, black people are not professional, and all of this stuff. They would be saying that if that was the dentist. So the dentist, and anywhere else you go, if you go to a restaurant, if you go anywhere else that's black owned, you expect the staff and the owner to be 100% professional. But you don't have the same courtesy for yourself. So you want to go to a place where everybody except you has to be professional. That doesn't make sense. And to think of, it's not even really professional. They're just asking or requiring you to dress normally. Normal people don't leave the house and go to a dentist appointment in pajamas. Normal people don't do that. So for the request to be just dressed like you're normally going to an appointment, like you would a white dentist office, that's not asking too much. Now, this is another good take from our sister Dominique, and she says, every time an incident like this occurs, it perfectly highlights how the sisterhood of failure has taken over. Dysfunction is a disease that only spreads when it's allowed to fester. It's disturbing when the poisoned are the loudest voices and cheer for everything to be acceptable. And I fully agree. the sisterhood of failure because there were black women who were sabotaging the business, writing terrible reviews, doxing her and all of that stuff because they don't like the standards that she has for her own business. Okay, so this narrative of, oh, the only person a black woman can rely on is other black women, and black women are out here saving the community. This is a black woman who says, hey, this is just the standard for the business, and you have a segment of black women who don't like any rules or standards at all, and they went out of their way to sabotage this. So this is the quote unquote sisterhood that just don't like to be told what to do by anybody at all. Now, our sister T Mac says, the people who actually hate black women are the ones who say black women don't need a standard. Black women are way too beautiful to walk around like they just hopped out of bed. Keep some hats and clothes to throw on to run quick errands. I fully agree. You know, a part of a woman being beautiful is how she acts, how she presents herself, not just, you know, her physical physique or whatever the case is, or her pretty face. You know, she has to present herself in a way that exudes beauty. Now, this does not mean that you have to walk around everywhere wearing high heels. This doesn't mean like you have to have your hair done 24/7. If your hair is not done, if today's just, you know, not that type of day, then like she said, put on a hat. You don't have to dress to the nines and wear your best dress and all that stuff out everywhere. But to get up and act like you don't care, like I just woke up and I brushed my teeth and ran out the house, I didn't even change my clothes, that's tacky. And it's actually anti-black to say that black women present themselves like this, and that should be a regular and accepted thing. Now, our sister Empowered Black Gal says, I love rules like this. I don't want to go to the dentist office with emotionally unregulated women who are riddled with defense mechanisms, masculine, unpredictable, and aggressive. Anyone, and then it says WM, I'm assuming that's a typo. So anyone who has a problem with rules like this are just as I described. And to be honest, I gotta agree, because we are told in society you shouldn't judge anybody for any reason at all. Under no circumstances should anybody be judged, but that's just not true. You know, it's common sense to judge people based off how they present themselves, how an adult chooses to present themselves. You're not going to have a classy, intelligent, well put together woman who has a good head on her shoulders. She is not going to look at herself in the mirror and feel okay leaving the house like she just woke up out of bed. She's not a woman who has that amount of esteem, just a basic level of self-esteem, isn't even going to feel okay leaving the house like that. The only women who feel comfortable leaving the house like that are women who have emotional problems. Now, our sister Empowered Foundational Black American said, I'll say this. I'm glad the sign is there. No woman should come out of their house with them nasty bonnets, house shoes, and pajamas on, period. You nasty and musty, and your standards for yourself are so low. Now wash your ass and put some clothes on. Now get mad, you know who you are. And hey, I gotta agree. Let's keep it real. A lot the women who be sitting up there advocating to dress like a ghetto hood rat, them bonnets be oily and crusty on the sides because of the leave-in glue and all that stuff that they be wearing. They be nasty bonnets, and the house shoes and slippers be nasty, and their feet be dirty. Okay, and you look dirty leaving the house like that, because, and I'm gonna tell you why, because nobody at all, period, man or woman, gets up in the morning, brush their teeth, washes their face, takes a shower, and puts pajamas on to leave the house. The fact that you're leaving the house in pajamas clearly shows that you did not shower when you woke up that day or really got dressed to do anything. It shows you just rolled out of bed and say, hey, I think I got an appointment today. Let me go. Now we have our good sister Nicole from Nicole's View. If you guys haven't seen her YouTube channel, you guys definitely want to check that out. But she comments and says, the comments in this tweet truly show how low the bar is today. The bar is literally laying on the ground. This is the establishment rules. Don't like it, don't go. Make sure you have the same energy the next time you see a similar sign like this at white establishments too. And she did an excellent job with this commentary because first off, the bar is if the bar is literally saying don't leave the house or don't go to an appointment in pajama pants, the bar is way too low. It's just is way too low. And the thing is that, and this is the whole thing of what I've been saying in the video, is that they're tripping like this because there's a black owned business that has this type of rule, because you have rules like this all over the place. When they're non-black, nobody has an issue with dress codes. Now the fact that black, and this is the only time you see dress codes being a problem, being discriminatory and all of that stuff. Everybody else complies. Everybody complies with the dress codes of a non-black business, especially a white business. Now, when a white establishment has that, and people will be saying, well, you shouldn't be leaving the house like that anyway. That's what everybody would be saying, which, to be honest, is true. You should be leaving the house like this. So we need to say the same thing with the white establishments, but you don't see that happening. That is the problem. So due to all the insane amount of backlash, especially the ones calling this rule or rules like this anti-black, I made a poll on my Twitter page saying or asking, is it anti-black for a black-owned business to have a dress code for their establishment? And 91.1% said no. Now this had 527 people voted, and 90%, almost 100% said no, it's absolutely not. There was a few who said yeah. I don't know why. The couple of them who said yeah, but yeah. So this really goes to show that it's not a super large percent of black people who have this type of lazy, unprofessional, kind of degenerate dressing mindset. It's just a fragment of it, but that fragment is dangerous because that fragment too oftentimes goes unchecked. So when we see stuff like this, and those are the type, and I'm not talking about all, but those are the small amount who will literally go out and sabotage another black person's business because they don't like the fact that they pretty much can't get their way all of the time with no exceptions at all. So we do have to clean up. When we talk about cleaning up the culture and getting everything better, we're going to have to hyper focus on this like degenerate mindset of, oh, why should we act like we are civilized people if we're not around white people? We need to get rid of that type of mindset. Well, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, family. Like, what do you think? Is the dress code too much? Are the Twitter haters, are they doing too much? Or do they have a right to criticize? Are they not haters? Let me know what you guys think about the situation in general, what you guys think about the dress codes in general. Let me know what you guys think. I want to hear it in the comment section below. Also, you can be following me on my various social media pages, which is at Afro Elite on Instagram and at the Afro Elite on Twitter. And please, before you leave, do not forget to hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell, plus leave a thumbs up and share this. Okay, please make sure you do that. Thank you very much. And with that being said, brothers and sisters, be one salute to every single last one of you all, and you all have a good one.